Let me just tell you this in closing. Personal story, and I talk about this. It's not necessarily in line with the Crowder Closes that I do on the typical Thursday show, but there's kind of a rite of passage for men. I had a comic friend who said this, that every man has the rite of passage. They have two stories. One is where they drink too much. Typically, that's the story they tell, and one is where a man craps his pants. And he believed that if you didn't have these stories, that you were not a man. I don't have either of those. Good sized penis though, so I figure it evens out.
Yeah.
Slightly above average. Bell curve, little higher.
Just past center.
That's how you know I'm telling the truth. Or am I playing 8D chess and trying to make you think that without exaggerating, making intelligence? So anyway, every man typically has those stories. I don't. But as far as the story of crapping one's pants, today I came as close to this as ever in my life. And it was a spiritual experience. Let me explain to you. Every morning, my routine is I drive, nowhere in particular, I drive around in my car and I have Black Rifle coffee and usually have some kind of a seltzer water as a palate cleanser because I really like savoring the coffee, and then sometimes I'll have a cigar. Okay, listen, sorry, so sue me. That's my morning routine. I have kind of a loop that I do. For some reason this morning, and I'll get to the some reason, at least my suspicion, I was driving away from home. 10 minutes. So I knew it was 10 minutes back. I know the typical loop is about 20 minutes at its furthest point. And I went, oh no. Uh-oh. And I felt the rumble.
Oh no.
And it was more than a rumble. It was like, okay, this is a problem, right? So I'm like, let me just turn around, and I'm going back. So the loop is not the same street, because I turn around in a different portion. I like seeing the sunrise because I'm up pretty early.
Yeah.
And as I loop back around to come home, I feel like, okay, I'm definitely not going to a public restroom because of coronavirus right now. And I figure that I can climb up there. If we can't touch our eyes, if we cannot touch our eyes, if there's any irritation there, I figure it's somewhat porous, and I don't want to roll the dice at the 7-Eleven.
You don't want to be the guy that got coronavirus through his ass.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Patient zero, no good.
You don't want that to be on your tombstone.
You know what's funny? What if there is a guy where that happened?
Oh, man.
And he's sort of like, he's a guy who everyone suspects is gay, but he's been telling his wife no. And then the doctor's like, you got your coronavirus through your ass. What? No, sweetie, what is happening?
Somebody coughed on me.
Must have been when I licked that telephone pole. So I didn't want to stop at a public restroom. So I'm driving home and thinking, okay, I got time. And then on my loop home, there's a roadblock. And because construction workers can't go out and work, it's not moving at all.
Oh, no.
So 3 lanes has become 1. And I imagine that a demonic figure was put in the Hyundai 4 cars in front of me. Because what should have been at this point 7 minutes turned into 15.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting there, and I know some people are going to think this is sacrilegious, but I swear to you, I was sitting there and I was just praying. I'm like, please, Lord, don't let me crap my pants. Please, God, don't let me crap my pants. I've not done it. Don't let me crap my pants. And then at a certain point, I just realized, once we're going to minute 15, 16, 17, I kind of released myself to the process. And I said, you know what?
You lay all your problems at his feet.
I'm going to stop, because the lactic acid threshold, there's a lactic acid threshold for the pucker there. People don't know, it's just like a bicep. You know, there's a certain point, you can't do any more curls.
Right.
At a certain point, it's like opening the pressure chamber in Sphere. And which was the one with Sam Neill underwater? Was it Sphere?
Sam Neill.
Event Horizon. I don't know. Either way,
Horizon.
demonic figure in Hyundai, and I'm like, I'm not going to. So I said, okay, Lord, I am not in control of this. Whatever happens, happens. And then I thought for sure that I did. Because there was some sense, there was relief.
There was relief.
And I sat there for another 5 minutes, Mrs. Hyundai. Wow. And I made it home. And then I still ran to the bathroom because I figured I maybe only, released a certain amount to make it bearable until I got home. But I shit you not. I got home. I went to the bathroom to check the damage because I wanted to make sure that I threw anything out, pull an Al Roker. And I check my sweatpants. And it was like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There was no poop. I didn't poop myself. Whoa. They didn't burn in the fire. I looked, and I was like, what? So for some reason, and then, by the way, I took care, I went. So in other words, it wasn't like I didn't have to go anymore and I missed my chance. It was so painful. That's why you saw me with the Pepto-Bismol. I think it was just like after giving birth, there's a certain level of remaining inflammation, auxiliary, inflammatory markers.
Just compared it.
And what happened there was did we have that overlay?
Yeah, we did.
It was clean as a whistle.
Wow.
And I tell you what,
And you took a picture of it.
everyone always is looking for a big sign. Sometimes with God, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and it's the small things. And so I still don't have a story of crapping my pants, which I guess means I'm not a real man, but I'm eternally grateful. Thank you very much. Join Mug Club, hashtag Mug Club Quarantine, promo code Quarantine, $30 off at louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. We will see you at 10 a.m. Eastern Monday morning.